Wide load? Oh boy. Hey John, I'm just supporting your mom. Look at her. She's gonna have a lot of fun. Something that I've been doing recently has been making sure that whenever I go to the park, I don't use headphones and I don't use like music or anything. Just so I can like disconnect a little bit from the world. Because I noticed that like I feel like I'm always connected and I hate that feeling. So whenever I'm doing cardio and whatever, I really want to like just be alone with my thoughts and give myself time to think. There's something wrong when I see people while they're doing cardio be stuck on their phones, taking like reels or other type of brain rot to the dome. I've seen people on like you have to be like actually causing yourself like some sort of mental damage when you do something like that, right? We can talk about people destroy their dopamine receptors after the story, because if I don't lock in, I'm never gonna tell it. The park is lined with like a bunch of different like benches across the track. But the problem with those benches is that those benches are right next to the track. So whenever there's somebody sitting down on those benches, if they're talking with each other, like you can hear everything. But usually, you know, it's not that big of a deal, even though lately I've been going to the park without my headphones because I kind of want to be in tune with like what's happening in that moment, and I kind of want to, you know, go over my thoughts and give myself time to think, because I've noticed that I live a very hectic life and I don't have like times for me to like just, you know, sit down, just kind of think about those things that I want to think about. So again, usually it's not a problem, but this time I see like a couple in the bench, and like they were talking, but usually people in the park are kind of like joyful or jovial rather. They were like talking, but it was like a little bit serious, right? But I didn't think too much of it. I was like, okay, whatever, right? So I just go by, and I feel like, and the thing is, like they were in one of the benches. So some of the benches are closer to the track than the others. That bench in specific is like right on the track. Like there's it's kind of hard to explain, but in the park alongside the track there's a sidewalk. But the parts where there's no more sidewalk, the benches are like right beside the track. I do my lap. I don't really think much of it, and I figured like, okay, there's like a guy and a girl, and the body language seemed weird, but like whatever, right? It just kind of caught me off guard. I think the girl said something like, oh, but what was that? And whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I couldn't catch it, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever, none of my business, right? Who cares? I personally am a big believer in, like, whenever I see drama and shit, I'm not gonna, like, for example, if I hear, like, a car crash happen or, like, something big happen, or I start to hear people screaming, I'm not one to like stick my head out and try to figure out what's going on. I'm not gonna do that. I try to stay in my own lane, and if the moment they see any trouble or any bullshit happen between two people, I'm out. I'm out of there. But you know, it seemed okay, so I kept doing my cardio. When I go the second time, you know, so I go around, you know, whatever, don't think too much of it. When I finally do my second lap and I go around, I immediately clocked that it was like a breakup or something, because she started like talking like really like she was like this, and how dare you like do this, and what did she text you, and whatever, blah blah blah. And the guy was like trying to like de-escalate the situation. She started to talk like a lot quieter but a lot sharper, like she sounded like a little bit emotional, and the dude was like trying to like downplay how she felt. And it's like, okay, hold on, they're not fighting, this is like she's giving him the talk. Like it's going down. And the fucked up part about it is that the part where they were sitting on was like the midpoint between the both corners of the track, so they could see me coming from a mile away. And I tried to like look towards the horizon, but I could feel the guy kind of like looking at me. I don't know, like I have this feeling of like I'm being stared at, so whenever I feel like I'm being stared at, I will like try to see like who's staring at me. And the guy was staring at me, but when I saw his face, when I stared back and I saw his face, he had like his eyebrows like super raised, and he was doing like the okay, like he was saying like that kind of stuff. If he could put a face to somebody who's guilty, he would have been it. Like he had the face of somebody who got caught doing Something that he really shouldn't have done. So at this point, I'm doing like my third lap. I'm like a mile into my cardio session. She is now like stabbing him in the gut with her finger. And when on the third lap, that's when I hear, but why the fuck are you texting this bitch on Snapchat? And that's when it clicked. The guy was cheating on her. And she found out and she told him to go to the park so we could talk about it. That's what happened. So apparently I didn't know this was a thing. I asked a friend of mine about this because I don't use Snapchat myself. I've never used Snapchat. Dude, apparently in Snapchat there's like a thing called like a map. And people can see you when you upload like Snapchat, or people can see you if you're in an area or something like that. What my friend told me is that likely what happened is that she saw him in a place he shouldn't have been, like a bar or something like that. And apparently that's when she got like wise of the situation and decided to check, right, his Snapchat. And when she did that, apparently she found the DMs of the girl. And how do I know that that's what happened? Because again, I go for my third lap and then I go around, and when I go for my fourth lap, that's when I hear, I know you've been deleting the messages because I read them and then I saw them gone from your phone. I was like, oh fuck. The best part about it was that, you know how people start to doom scroll faster whenever they feel like they're whenever they feel that they're bored or whatever? What ended up happening to me is that I started to increase my pace just to see what would happen next. The people who are doing cardio at the track are not asking to be involved in your drama. But if you're gonna go ahead and go to the park, right, then make a big deal about it. Even if you're in the right. And it sounds like she was. But if you're gonna make a big deal about it, well, I think I'm about to pay attention then and see what happens. So this became like my doom scroll, and it started like, going a little bit quick and see what would happen. And when I go for my fifth lap, she gets up. She says, I can't do this anymore. Don't you fucking talk to me ever again. She gets up, she grabs her purse. She starts walking. Like, and dude, she had like heels on. Bro, you could hear those heels from a mile away after she started walking. Like, she was pissed. The guy like looks around. He does like a huge sigh. Calls someone and he tells them, hey, can you pick me up? I just got dumped. I think what happened is that she brought him to the park. She told him that she wanted to just talk to him. Left him stranded in the park. I would feel bad for him if it wasn't the case that, he cheated. I had never seen that couple there before, right? So it's very likely that in fact, the woman was... Oh god, I probably crashed into the... I don't know if she lived far away or not. I had never seen those people on that park before. What I suspect happened is that she probably took him over there, not so much to make an example out of him, but because girls, we get told from our mothers and our friends or sisters, that whenever you're breaking up with someone, make sure that you do it in a public place just in case, the person gets violent or whatever, you have like a way out, or you have a way to get out of any problems that you might have, It could be a safe thing for her in case he crashes out, yeah. I will never break up with someone over text or like phone. I'm a big believer in that kind of stuff. You have to do it in person. You have to do it in person. If you truthfully, gave yourself to that person and something goes wrong, that person, even when they're wrong, they deserve like a chance to like see you face to face and properly talk about these things. Like I feel like that's like the correct etiquette, moral thing to do. Even though I am a very private person, that's the kind of thing that I would personally do in public, because you never know what may happen, especially depending on the type of breakup that the person, especially depending on the type of breakup that you're having. Because if you have a breakup with someone, like you're breaking up with them because they cheated on you, that's a big breach of your trust, and that really changes how you perceive that person. You never know what may happen. Breaking up with someone over text is beyond contemptible. I have one story of someone doing that to me, but to be honest, like I didn't want to see them because the reason why they broke up with me was because supposedly we drifted away or whatever and blah 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 blah. But I had insinuated that he had been unfaithful. I had insinuated that because of something that I saw, but I had no way to like confirm or deny. But you know, eventually it came out that yeah, he was looking at someone else in the back, behind my back. So I can't say I hated that specific breakup. But I still feel like he like if he should have done it in person. If you're gonna break up with someone, do it in public just to be safe. Also, I think that guys should do it in public just to be safe as well. Some girls are have their reaction tempered by the fact that there's people around. So if I were you, you know, I would also, if you were a guy, do it in public. Yeah, false accusations are a thing. Yeah, I've seen people steal from their partner. Bro, I have a story for you. Dag Dad, you wanna get messy? Let's get messy. We're gonna call this friend Bob. Bob had this. He was going out with this girl. Let's call her Christina. Can his name be Richard? Dick? You want me to call him Dick? But yeah, he can be Richard. So he's always been kind of like an aloof guy. I feel like that's kind of why I get along with him so well. It's because like he's pretty easygoing. You know, he's pretty aloof. All things considered, he's not somebody he's pretty chill, and I try to surround myself with people who are like that, like element drama in general. So like whenever somebody, like the easiest way to push me out, to push me from your life, I'm not even joking, if you want me out of your life, the only thing you have to do is bring drama. The moment you start like stressing me out with drama and bullshit that doesn't matter, I'm out, bro. So that's why I get along with him. But the problem about being so aloof sometimes is that, you know, there's like stuff happens, and when certain things happen, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of let's say a little bit of malice, you know, goes a long way. Like he had this girlfriend Christina living with him, and every so often he would find different things in his drawer, and he mentioned this to me once. He said, what was the thing that he's told me? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, like I've noticed that my girlfriend sometimes like between new shirts and stuff, and like, you know, that's cool. And I'm like, okay, isn't it a bit weird though that she isn't telling you when she buys you these things? And it's like, no, like I just, you know, she's just a really nice lady. And you know, sometimes goes by, and then he tells me that, oh yeah, you know, this is kind of weird. I found that like an empty box of condoms, and I kind of forgot that I bought these. Spoiler alert, he didn't buy them. But he would come up to me and just like mention like different things like that. Like we were being a group of friends, and he would start talking about these things like, oh yeah, like I found this kind of weird. Like I don't remember buying these random condoms, but like I guess you like brought these in, like, you know, it was always like stuff like that. There was one time where he mentioned that there was like a car parked in his driveway, and when he got there and he asked who was the person parked in the driveway, you know, when he went into his house, her girlfriend said, oh, it's just a neighbor from across the street. He needed space to park because he's going to like a party or something. There was this parking space in the house, therefore he, like, you know, he saw me outside and parked there. And I was like, oh my god. So I tell Richard, hey man, can we do something real quick? Can you tell me when your girlfriend gets home, like from her work, just so I can keep an eye out, an eye out on her? And he's like, yeah, she gets out at this time at this time of the day. She works like part-time, and then she's like home alone from like midday till until I get home at like 7 p.m. So I decide to, you know, one day go with a group of buddies, and we park outside, like two houses outside of Richard's house. And, you know, we're just kind of talking, and right on time, she gets out of work, and at 12, and like at midday, you know, 12 p.m., she's there, she goes inside the house, and we think nothing of it. And here's when it gets like really funny. A couple of minutes go by, and then a second car parks like a house after Richard's house. And we see like this, you know, guy get out, and he walks towards the house and goes inside. We call Richard and we tell him, hey bro, we just saw a guy go inside of your house. Did you did you call for like an electrician or something? Or like a plumber? Because the car that the guy came in was like one of those I don't want to say the free candy vans, but it was one of those vans where it's like white and had like a company, name on the side. And we told him like, hey, did you like by any chance like call somebody over to like fix something or whatever? And when we call him, he says no, but we did have like this thing broken. That's probably Christina dealing with it. And we tell him, Richard, can you do us a solid and go home right now and check? Then we decide to leave because we did our job, right? Like we told him, dude, there's something sus. Not even 15 minutes went by. She was there and the van got there immediately. We leave. The dude gets there and he tells us that he finds her getting her back blown by the dude who just got there, and a commotion happens. He tells her to get the fuck out. He starts throwing his clothing away, whatever, blah 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 blah, or rather her clothing away. And evidently, that's when it all clicks for him that, oh yeah, the shirts and the condoms that you didn't buy and the shirts that were not yours and all of those things that were happening. Oh yeah, like that was actually her cheating on you. But the story gets worse. The story gets way worse. How can it, bro? You're never gonna it gets worse. Bro, he breaks up with her. He calls her parents. Her parents are livid. So now not only is she unable, she can't live with them. After he calls her parents, she can't go live with them either, because now they're pissed at him because he had a really good relationship with her parents, right? And they're pissed at her for being a fucking whore, right? A bunch of stuff happens. She becomes like a fucking psych or whatever, and after a while, days go by. She kind of cools down. We don't hear from her again. But then Richard decides to check his bank account like a couple of months later, and he notices that there are some things that were taken out of his bank account that are not things that he recognizes. So he starts to check the dates, and the dates are near certain events like his birthday, like Christmas, and stuff like Valentine's Day or whatever. So when he goes to when he calls the bank and he asks what's up, he finds out that apparently the PlayStation 4, the headphones, the perfume that she gifted him for Valentine's, the just everything, all of the gifts that she was giving him for years actually came out of his bank account. So whenever he got like a cool thing like a PlayStation or headphones or whatever, apparently he was taking his credit card and buying those things and then giving it for him that gives back at him. Oh my god, that is so fucked up. He is really a good sport about it, because it's fucked up. What happened to him? It's like actually fucked up. Dude, I actually admire Richard so fucking much after that. He has a very bubbly personality. Like he has a very good sense of humor. So when he found out about it, like the first thing the first thing he did, like we had like a group chat with all of our buddies and stuff. And the first thing he did is, guys, you're never gonna believe what this bitch Christina did. Dude, I wish I could do justice to the type of stories that like the way that he tells stories. Because he has a really good sense of humor. I don't know how he didn't find out when he found, like, he had one of the shirts he had was something like that said like either Viva Mexico or Viva Colombia. It was something like that, dude. I cannot believe that he never managed to like suss out the fact that that shirt was a gift from Marshalls, and it was probably for the Colombian that was like breaking the back of your girl. But no, they didn't have any kids, and no, they didn't have a joint bank account. They actually just he would just like give her the credit card. That was all. She used to have free access to it. It was nothing like that. Like they weren't as far as I know anyway. Like he didn't care if she took like the credit card out of her wallet, out of his wallet or not, you know. But it does have like a silver lining, the story. Again, he had a good relationship with her parents. He called her parents and he said, hey, you know, I want you guys to know Christina has been taking like money out of my bank account for stuff that I did not pay for. And no, dude, those parents are like actual MVPs. They told Richard like, hey, I know this is not your fault, we're really sorry. Can you send us like how much money she actually took from you? And we'll go ahead and send you like that amount and we'll just, you know, talk with her later and we'll get it from her later. Bro, holy. And then like he got a check for all the money that he, you know, spent. Quote unquote, you know, he spent on his own gifts. He got his money back. So that's cool. And hey, you know what? A free PS4, a free, you know, Bose headset, a couple of I think she bought him like a couple of Mont Blanc perfumes, you know, or something like that. Not bad. At least there's a silver lining, you know. Do you get what I mean? Lucky him, those in-laws are on his side. Dude, if my daughter did something like that, if I had a daughter and she did something like that, or a son, first of all, I'm gonna find a way to turn him into eunuchs. But secondly, honestly, I feel like turning cheaters into eunuchs is a acceptable and fair punishment. But if that happens, I would do the same. Her parents got him those gifts now. Relationship fell apart, but at least he got some free swag, yeah. Please tell me he burned the mattress. I don't know if he burnt the mattress or not. Knowing him, probably not. Maybe just changed the sheets. Maybe he got rid of the sheets, but knowing him, he probably didn't get rid of the mattress. Though sad, he was so interesting even when the signs were there, but he was able to bounce from it. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of glad that he also listens to us. I did have a friend one time. Dude, oh my god, I did have so many stories that I could tell about this. I've had friends that were like the opposite, that would get like really defensive whenever we said like, hey, you know what? We are kind of concerned that this thing is happening, and we've had people like be, you know, very defensive about the fact that we're saying that, hey, you know what, we think your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever is cheating. I've had to break, you know, friendships because of the fact that, you know, the person in question got really defensive when I told him about something that happened. So I think he flipped the mattress. If he asked me, I think he flipped the mattress. I don't know though.